Right now, the so-called champions of freedom and democracy are turning a blind eye to what is being done by the Israeli regime right now. Dozens of Palestinians have been killed when Israeli security forces stormed the al-aqsa mosque during the holy month of Ramadan, specifically to target Muslim worshippers. As I said, dozens have been killed and even more have been injured. Now, Israel has also launched multiple artillery attacks against Rafah. This is an area inside the Gaza Strip where it claims that multiple rockets were fired from Hamas forces in retaliation for the attacks that Palestinians have been receiving over the past month. The situation was accelerated on Monday when IDF killers stormed the al-Aqsa mosque and assaulted the worshippers inside. A number of wounded Palestinians have been arrested by Israeli security forces outside the Lions Gate as they attempted to flee the crackdown. According to the Palestinian Red Crescent saying to journalists, there are hundreds of people injured from the clashes and about 50 of them were hospitalized. Outside the old city, at least 90 Palestinians were wounded a day earlier when police attacked protesters. Another 200 Palestinians sustained injuries on Friday when Israeli forces stormed the al-Aqsa mosque. Now, once the number of people who were assaulted by the IDF managed to get themselves back together in the al-Aqsa mosque, they eventually forced the IDF soldiers to flee. Now, this latest violence occurs as Israelis are celebrating the theft of East Jerusalem, al-Quds, from the Palestinian people in 1967. For them, it is a day of celebration where Palestinian land that they have stolen became theirs. And then there are multiple protests against the Israeli occupation going on. And that this holiday and these attacks by the Israelis are set to increase hostilities in the region even further. So we can look forward to further violence in the next couple of days due to the actions of the Israeli so-called defense force. Now, Israeli authorities are justifying the crackdown in retaliation for several rockets and 39 firebombs that had been launched into Israel from the Gaza Strip, except that these attacks were in retaliation for the oppression that Palestinians are facing, the recent spate of killings by the Israeli IDF forces. So in the media narrative, they're actually reversing or inverting the causation. They're rather blaming the Palestinians for retaliating against something that Israelis have done, and the media has portrayed it the other way around in order to forward the Zionist narrative.
الله يوك يا حالة شباب. أيوب بدنا كوبا اليهودية الصوت. القسام بضرب. قولوا فعل والله عمي. قاعد في بيتنا كوبا اليهودية. قولوا فعل. اضرب. اضرب.
The main reason for the attack by the Israelis is that the last Friday of Ramadan is a day of protest that the Ayatollah had called upon all people to protest the Zionist occupation and the murder of Palestinian people. And that's because of this, Israel has stepped up attacks, this being a holy time for Muslims all across the world. And these crimes of Israel are once again going uncountered by the so-called defenders of freedom and democracy in the West. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.